So, faced with the second mass shooting in a week, President Joe Biden and Democrats on Capitol Hill are calling for fast actions to enact stricter gun laws and a plea that was immediately met with a blockade of opposition by Republicans. So, in an article from the New York Times titled, Biden seeks weapons ban and background checks by Annie Carney and Katie Edmondson.
I don't need to wait another minute, let alone an hour, to take common sense steps that will save the lives in the future and to urge my colleagues in the House and Senate to act. We can ban assault weapons and high capacity magazines in this country once again. The United States Senate, I hope some are listening, should immediately pass the two House passed bills that close loopholes in the background check system.
And I mean, listeners, I want to be very clear with what I'm about to say because you're never going to ban guns. It's never going to happen. But can you monitor, regulate, and track guns? Yeah, it can happen. I mean, think about it. If our own armed forces are required to participate in universal background checks, it's a no brainer to strengthen background checks by applying them to all gun buyers and extending the time the FBI has to vet those flagged by the National Instant Check System. And honestly, what human being is okay with firearms being sold at gun shows or on the internet with zero background checks? And too often, politicians call for background checks on weapons, but I'm surprised to hear zero politicians call for background checks on ammunition. I mean, in the new decade, Americans make up 4.5% of the global population, but own 42% of the world's guns. In fact, nearly 40,000 Americans in 2019 died from gun related injuries. So, listeners, for nearly a third of my life, I have been hearing reports of mass shootings taking place in my country for the last decade. And as lockdown restrictions continue to loosen up, I find it very alarming to see gun violence rise again in our country.